Where's the first one? Oh, cute little Nick Cannon and a racial baby. All right. So this is Brie, right? This is Brie Sissy. This is one of Nick Cannon's baby mamas. She was online talking about how she had been up all night with her baby. She'd been up for like 72 hours or some shit like that. You know, just talking about how exhausted she is with the baby. And someone said, "Can you get a night nurse to help you? Having a baby takes a damn village." And she says, you sure you want to pay for it?" And she said, "Tell Nick." And she says, "Yeah, okay. I don't need your unsolicited advice. Thanks. You have some fucking nerve." And then she said, "Since you have so much advice, my Venmo is my name. Anyone else looking for baby advice? Here's your gal." Um, so first of all, you got online and complained to the public about being tired about your baby keeping you up all night. And then we remember that your baby daddy is Nick Cannon. And we remember that he probably isn't there to help you, but he's rich. So a lot of us assumed that because Nick Cannon has now 9 children by 7 different women, if I'm remembering correctly, that we would just assume he would be paying so you would not have to go through these types of things. And maybe if you thought you could do it yourself, he would then, you can just call him and be like, "Hey, Nick, I need some help. Can you send someone over to help me for the night or something?" Like you would think you would be able to do that, seeing as though you had a baby with a millionaire. You posted this to social media. And then you say that you don't, first of all, for you to say, you sure you want to pay for it. Like, why are you saying that? First of all, I feel like the person's comment wasn't even shading her. It was a real suggestion to get a night nurse. She said having a baby takes a damn village. And that was just obviously somebody who was just being real with you and saying, "I'm supposing you got money to get that type of help because you are with Nick Cannon." That is the understood pretense of a rich man having a harem, is that these women are to be taken care of, right? That's common. That's what we would think, right? That's the common sense of a rich man impregnating 7 different women in a short period of time. Really, 6 different women in a short period of time. Child, I think it might be 8 mothers, 9 kids, or something like that. Child, I don't know, 6 mothers, 9 kids, because I know it's at least 2 set of twins in there. But anyway, she says, "Keep my parenting, my kid, and my baby daddy's name out your mouth. Nick is not my sugar daddy. Nick is not my Nick is my child's fucking wait, hold up. Nick is my fucking child's father. That is all." Well, sweetheart, a part of being the child's father is supplementing for where you lack. So when you are tired because you've been up with your baby, you having the daddy means that the daddy is supposed to come in. The 10th is pregnant now. Yes. Okay, got you. And Abby's pregnant again too. And Abby is already a baby mama. Abby De La Rosa, we're gonna talk about her too. Cause she did her interview with Shan Booty, and Real Wayani, sat there and watched all of it, and we talked about it, on her channel, and I was just floored. And I'm gonna pull it up for y'all too, because I want to kind of go through some of the shit that she said as well. But either way, Brie Tessie, girl, what? Why are you on the internet complaining to people about you are having a hard time with your baby, and then get mad when they tell you to tell the daddy? Watch your fucking mouth when you speak on mine. First of all, ain't nobody speaking on yours. Who said something about yours? All they said was, "Get some help by the nigga that gave you the baby." The fuck? Anyway, she said, "Ain't no fucking way I'm having your baby and I'm struggling while you out here spraying your seed like lawn fertilizer. I'm sorry the baby won't sleep. That's an innocent party here. Hopefully little Tinker Man gets some rest. But these adults making bad choices. Ain't no fucking way I was married to Johnny Manziel, pregnant by Nick Cannon, and starring on Selling Sunset, and a night nurse is somehow out of my budget. Side note, Manziel had such an interesting fall from grace." Some of y'all defending Nick because he's a man and I cannot relate. My daddy braided hair on Sundays while my mama oversaw showers and backpack checks. So yeah, I feel where this lady's coming from. And she continued on. I'm sorry. She continued on. LOL. Here we go again. No one was venting. I took nothing left. I was talking about how I haven't slept because baby is teething early and that a family member came to visit and spilled my milk all over the couch. Put my Ember cup in the microwave, which is electronic, and that it was only 9 a.m. to then have someone say Nick should pay for a night nurse. Not sure how anything I was saying had to do with needing a night nurse or Nick at all. Girl, what? Okay, girl. You were talking about how you were tired and how you hadn't slept, but okay. Not sure how anything I was saying had to do with needing a night nurse or Nick at all. Funny how y'all only take me popping off, but not the actual stories. If you showed the full thing, you would see her message was unwarranted, and I was laughing at what had occurred. Regardless of working, I want every minute with my son. Why would I have someone else do it? Because you need rest? Hello? All I was sharing was a hard moment as a mom, being honest, where after not sleeping and working, it was just one more thing after the other and was making fun. Ma'am, are you literally telling us that it was after not sleeping and working, and we're telling you that you should get help with the baby since you are now working and breastfeeding a teething baby? Maybe you should get some help from your rich baby daddy, and you're telling us that none of that has anything to do with him? Do you not understand how having a man actually in a household with you when you have a baby would probably help you with some of those things if the man is worth shit? Because we know, having some of y'all in a household don't mean a motherfucking thing. But if you got a man worth something and y'all have a baby, then when you're tired, he helps, he takes over. He feeds the baby while you get some rest. You don't work while he goes to work because you just had the baby. Those types of things. Those types of things, bitch. So how can you say none of that has anything to do with Nick? No one was complaining. You were. And no one was talking about Nick. You should be. This person decided to bring him up and add a money face and loop Nick into it, and she took it there. Girl, no, you read a lot into it when she was simply saying, if you are that tired, get your rich baby daddy to get you some fucking help. I'm not even about to read the rest of this because you're mad. It's so adorable. It's so adorable. Because you mad that somebody told you what you already knew. There's a part of me that feels like these women thought that he was going to do better by them than he's actually doing. Like, that's what it's making me feel like. It's making me feel like he was supposed to do better by the women and he's not. He purposefully picks women who hustle and have jobs. But ultimately, the purpose of having a baby with two people is so two people can take care of a baby, because when one person is tired, the other person can pick up the slack and vice versa. That's what's supposed to happen. And you sound like you're already upset about the fact that that's not the dynamic you have, and you thought you would be able to handle it until it actually happened to you. And now it's not that easy to deal with. Girl, y'all have such unrealistic expectations of motherhood, in my opinion. If you think that entering a situation like this on purpose is a good thing. Girl, all right, hold up, let me pull up Abby right quick.
Heavier at that time. I had all these tests done, and the doctor was like, okay, you're not able to have kids. You have like this going on, that going on.
First of all, can doctors stop saying that? Because
Right?
I can't tell you how many fucking stories
Right, where
of people
they
who got an army of babies they popped out are like, well, I was told I couldn't
And
have
that's
kids.
where I feel like that's where it all happened for me. Like, is where when we reunited and reconnected after my whole hospital stay, and when I got better after we linked up, and I remember us having a conversation, and I was like, listen, we're good on whatever it is that we're doing. There's nothing more to this than just sex. And then we had our first pregnancy. Now that's where I had a miscarriage. And then Nick was like, well, let's try again. And
at this time, how many kids did he have?
4.
He had 4.
Yes, 4.
Mm.
So I was open to the idea of having another pregnancy or attempting to get pregnant again, and it happened for us. And I didn't know I was going to have twins, clearly. So when they said, "Oh, you're having twins," I was like, "Okay, that just shot me from 0 to 1,000 real quick." And yeah,
So this is a plan. Your twins were planned pregnancy.
Yes.
So then, to clarify, you go to the doctor. They say that you can't get pregnant again. After that, you get more relaxed about protection.
Yes.
What about safe sex in terms of the fact that you guys have multiple partners?
So we've always spoken about safe sex and knowing our status and knowing what's going on with our bodies. We're both very health conscious when it comes to that. And Nick, he has his own ways of living, and he has lupus, so he already is very conscious about getting his blood drawn and taking care of his sexual health, mental health, all types of health up and down the spectrum. And that only inspired me. So we didn't really put too much emphasis because we were both very well aware of what our
Shan is pregnant
status was, and
again.
that went to anybody else who I happened to be sexually involved with.
So you weren't sexually monogamous at that time?
Yes, I was. When I got pregnant, yes, I was.
But I mean, like, at the time that you guys stopped using protection because you're like, we don't need it for birth control, were you guys also sexually monogamous?
I could say I was.
So at what point was this relationship poly for her? And that's another thing that a lot of women try to pretend. They try to pretend like they're in these poly relationships, but they're not. They're in one-sided monogamous relationships.
I can't. That's all I'm speaking for is myself.
That's all
yes,
you can
ma'am.
do. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
So then you have this period of time where you get pregnant. What goes through your mind? I mean,
life with this person because they make me feel the best version of myself that I can possibly feel.
I think that a comfort too also has to come from financial security to some extent, which is not a bad thing. We are drawn to people who we know can provide for us during a very vulnerable time and provide for our very vulnerable children.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, the last relationship I was in,
she stuttered and stammered after she said that. Let's continue.
5 years in, he wasn't financially stable at all, but he was rich in other things. And I think that that's what goes over our head is, okay, so this man might not be rich, but he was rich in love and rich in ambition and his plans and his goals. And I kind of took that more so as currency than, okay, yes, this is Nick Cannon and he has everything he wants at his fingertips. But at the same time, what's your heart like? What's your character like? What is it that I'm going to see build future leadership qualities for our potential child or children, you know? But
what was your "what are people going to say" voice saying?
Oh shit.
I think she's saying that he's not as much of a financial help as she thought, because what she valued before she got with Nick, I think, you know, the things that she got in her first situation. The way she said it, it was like, you know, he may not have had Nick's money, but he cared and he was there. And then with Nick, it's money, but is Nick really there? Probably not.
Really was.
I think she's saying a lot by not saying certain things, if that makes sense.
It really was an oh shit moment. All of them were just like, as long as you're happy, just because they see me in such a toxic relationship and in a toxic space, that they thought, as long as you're happy and this is healthy, most importantly, because we've seen you at your lowest of lows and we're seeing this new change in you, then we're for it. My family was never.
Were you guys private before that? Like,
oh yeah, very private. I remember even when I put out that I was pregnant, the world still didn't know about who was my children's father.
That seems to be the situation with most of these women. They don't always get the photo shoot because we were in the fucking dark about Lanisha Cole. And that was like the most recent baby.
Or who I was involved with. And I had never let it be known. And then this one Valentine's Day just opened up the can of worms for everybody. Me, another woman in it, two other women in his life all got sent the same balloons, the same flowers, the same everything. And, I'm thinking this is sweet. This is my first pregnant Valentine's Day. And then I open my phone to... it's pandemonium. It's crazy.
Oh, because you posted it.
Yes, I posted.
So this nigga can't even be Samson from Ready to Love and give everybody something that is at least, catered and designed for them, specifically for them. He sent them all the same shit. There's a lack of thought in that.
So I didn't know that others were posting at the same
Women
time
are having
or
your
what
kid.
they were posting. I didn't even know one of them was involved at the time with Nick. So I'm thinking, oh yeah, this is so sweet. Nope.
Was any of that news to you?
No. I mean, anybody who's involved with Nick, I think that's great. That's beautiful. That's his world. That's not my world. And, but I find it fun, to be honest. Like, oh, look, they're involved with baby daddy too. That's sweet. Like, I love it. But I think it was the same balloons and all that. It's like, come on.
Oh, so
you
Baby
could
was
have
like,
sent
"Don't
us
be so
different.
fucking tacky."
Yeah, like you could have sent us different color balloons or different floral arrangements. And I remember sitting Nick down and being like, we gotta talk. Like, we gotta really put names and categories of like what color balloons are gonna like, what flowers are best for who, what would wear. And he thinks I'm just funny whenever I say that, but I really mean it. I'm really just trying to.
Oh, we had an interview with Cree. The Ooh Ladies first panel had an interview with Cree. I believe Cree is very close with Abby, and she knows about a lot of this shit. And the assistant, Nick has a female assistant who is a part of this situation in the way that she takes care of all the women. And if she is also having a sexual relationship with Nick, then she probably would do these women dirty a little bit. I'm going to send all y'all the same thing. But when I use his card to send myself flowers, I'm going to send myself something a little bit better. Like, I'm telling y'all, this shit is not cool.
Prevent these crazy situations from happening and having the world just attack us like crazy. And I know people are like, how do you find trust in an open relationship? It's real easy. It's real easy. You just have to understand, like, to get out of the same old mundane thinking of monogamy and that I need to own a person and be with a person 24/7 and find beauty within yourself and the connection that you build with somebody. And I trust the connection that I have.
Now, listen, this part that she's talking about, that's the only part that I agree with. And that's like the part they use to manipulate the women into these situations.
With Nick,
the recipe for trust is consistency plus time. And so if someone is consistently honest with you upfront, consistently clear, they meet their expectations. When they are yeses are yeses, it's a yes. When they're no's are no's, it's a no. You can like rest assured on that. And when you experience that over time, you can develop trust. Trust has nothing to do with monogamy or non-monogamy.
Now, don't get me wrong, we're all humans. So Nick is not perfect because there's times where he's been a little hesitant with being completely honest. And I think that that's something that everybody wants to go in and stay.
Now, see, why can't you be completely honest, Nick? That's the issue. That's the issue. If you can't be completely honest in an already open situation where you are allowed to do whatever you want to do, that says a lot about why you're withholding. And it makes me want to wonder if he's ever being genuine, or if the moments where he's telling you the truth is only a tool of manipulation. Because why are you still not being honest in an open situation? That makes no sense.
Oh, there was honesty. Sometimes there's not. And you are really left in the dust of finding out things on your own or through fake social media accounts.
What's going through your head, and how does your relationship dynamic change during that time?
Through fake social media accounts. She's also talking about the fact that he does not, in order for this to be a healthy version of what he's trying to do, all of those women would have to sign off on additional women. In the societies where there are polygamous marriages and relationships, those men choose the women, and then the women that they're with have to choose the next one. They don't just bring in any old body, because whoever they bring in has to fit into the family that they're already building. It's supposed to be a family altogether. So Nick is doing this in the very derelict dick type of way, where I'm telling you that it looks like the more healthy version of this, but really it's not. It's just as toxic as any other man going around impregnating a whole bunch of different women and not being able to take care of the children. You forget about Mariah because Mariah was the only one he married. Mariah was also, Mariah. Like, Mariah's Mariah. So, of course, we're not going to think about Mariah as a part of this, because Mariah is not a part of this. Not really. She probably just has an agreement that you take care of our children and you do not cross my boundaries. Do what you're supposed to do by our children. I don't give a fuck about nothing else. She also probably doesn't need anything from Nick. So that means she doesn't have to ask for anything. Come and see them, come and spend time with them, take pictures, and then go on about your way, Nick. Everything's fine over here. Me and my kids gonna be just fine. We gonna live a nice life. Do you hear me? Okay, that's Mariah. Everybody else after that is entering into a manipulative polygamy code. That's what it's given.
While you're pregnant and experiencing all of these opinions from the world.
Shut down, complete shutdown. I didn't know how to maneuver through it. I didn't know how to be guided through it. It was only because of my support system, which is, when I say my support system, it's always going to be my sister off top. It wasn't because
your sister's here, right?
She is.
Yeah.
Here.
It reminds me of the lady who lost her baby and she had only her sister, her family for support. Y'all, like, I just want to listen to this one last part and then we're going to move on because I do want to talk about Cardi B and Akbar V. And then lastly, I want to talk about B. Simone, Danny Lee, and the baby. Y'all know whatever I usually put in the title is like the last thing I talk about.
I think he had several partners at the time, but I feel like just his track record of relationships at the time had maybe been a little bit more intensified. I mean, he had a lover over here that, you know, they were going strong and they've been involved for years. And then he had another beautiful family over here that he has. And then he has his ex-wife who's the queen of all queens. So people feel so invested, you know.
So did they view you as a homewrecker?
Yes.
Who helped you?
My sister.
Your sister.
Yeah, my sister.
And was Nick able to prepare you, given the fact that he had obviously grown up around this and then two had other partners who had gone through this?
Yeah, no. I don't think that's his responsibility to either, to be very honest. I think he could do so much and he could tell you like, Nick is a very positive person.
This the part right here.
So he's going to tell you, oh, just let it, you know, it's just all hate. It's just all people who don't refuse to understand. And it's easy for somebody who has navigated in the capacity in which he's navigated in for years and years. And the level in which he's handled it has been a level that I hope I never have to reach either. So I understand where his positivity was, but sometimes that positivity, you know, is just toxic as well. Like I need some direction at this point. I need some reality checks in this point. And I was able to get it, thank God, through my sister. But
did y'all hear that? Toxic positivity. Toxic positivity. Do you hear me? So think about what that means. Think about what positive toxicity looks like, or toxic positivity, however you want to say it. Think about what that actually looks like. What that actually looks like is somebody that's smiling in your face while they're saying something fucked up to you. Ignoring the facts of the situation, not being honest about a situation. It's going to be all right. Nah, it's going to be exactly the way I want it to be because it has to be. It's delusion. And then it's forcing other people to be in the delusion. I'm not going to keep playing it, but at some point she says, I told him that at some point I want to be in a monogamous relationship. This is not my forever. I honestly feel like I don't know if she meant to get pregnant by him this last time. Because she seems resigned that this is the situation that she's put herself in, but it doesn't seem like she's happy about it. She seemed more happy about the fact that this is not her forever. And at some point she'll be in a monogamous relationship. And she said Nick's response is that he doesn't believe it. He just laughs it off. You know who else gives me toxic positivity? Can't stop, won't stop. Diddy, Puff Daddy, Brother Love. Oh, that Black Oprah shit got Diddy written all over it. That Black Oprah shit got Diddy written all over it. Just the type of delusional nigga to say some crazy shit to you, and you repeat that shit to everybody because he did it. But it makes sense though, y'all. It's crazy. It is a oxymoron. It's an absolute oxymoron. But it is toxic positivity. It reminds me of the way, if y'all saw the Jasmine's Blues, maybe y'all saw it on Netflix, right? But if you've ever seen a white person smile and rationalize the brutality of a black person, well, you know, they're just defending your honor. Oh, you know, those boys are going to do what they want to do. It is being extremely positive about something that is extremely detrimental. Toxic positivity. Not Tabitha Brown for me. You think Tabitha Brown is toxic positivity? You know, love. I know. But you know what? I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna leave it alone. I'm gonna leave her alone. Nah. Understand what I mean when I say it. It's not that he said those words, but it's that he's the type of person to buck you up to say that shit in an interview. You know, me and Diddy was talking or whatever, and I was telling him what I want to do in my podcast. And, you know, he was like, you know, you could be the next Oprah. And I was like, yeah, I could be the next Black Oprah. Yeah, I like that. Like, I feel like that's kind of how that conversation went. Okay, he was like, you can't stop one. You could do whatever you want to do. You could be whatever you want to be. You want to be Oprah, Carisha? You could be Oprah. You already sitting right here with Diddy. Carisha, you could be Oprah. Carisha was like, I could definitely be a Black Oprah. I could see it. You're right, Diddy. You're right. You're right. I could definitely see it, girl. What? I could definitely see it, girl. What? Diddy is the best for giving speeches. Diddy is definitely having conversations with Carisha where he bigging her up. You could do whatever you want to do. Whatever, to the top. To the top. Okay? Can't stop, won't stop. 20, 30 years from now, you still gonna be a household name. They still gonna be Young Miami, Carisha. You know what I'm saying? And you know, if I say it, it's gonna happen because I said it back then. And you see what we at right now, 30 years later, can't stop, won't stop. Like, what? What? I can see it. DJ Khaled for me. You the best. We the best music. What? I'm the best. You the best, nigga. We could all be the best. In essence, we cannot. Like, oh my God. Nah, I wouldn't give toxic positivity to Rick Ross because the positivity isn't believable enough. Bruh. Did he go from talking about you to making it about himself? It's crazy. I know. God did. You so right. God did. Okay, what? What? God did. Yeah. I said it. I wanted it to happen. God did. Yeah. Oh my God. They so mad about Tabitha. They so mad about Tabitha right now. Now, loves, we can't stop and we won't stop. God did. God did, babies. God did. We are the best. Yes. I said it. Yes, we are the best. Oh, Lord. can't stop and I won't stop, baby. Okay. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Okay. All right. I'm done. Hey, I am Diva Nicole. Thank you for the super chat. This Diddy and Cannon impersonation is sending me. Oh my God. And I ate a 20 ingredient recipe, girl. Oh my God, I am dying. Oh my God. She wanna be Oprah really. Y'all, it's hella toxic positivity out there, bro. Got it, baby. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you why. Okay. Because at the end of the day, like the belief that you can always be positive, always believe in yourself, always be it's unrealistic, and there's a level of delusion that these people have to have, and there's a part of this that works. I want y'all to be clear. That's the reason why a lot of those people have made it. Diddy ain't lying. Diddy said that shit over and over again, and he worked it until all of it came true. Don't change the fact that you're a fucked up person. But the mindset and the framework behind I have to believe in myself at all cost. Take the meat and leave the bones. Shout out to Marceau. You know what I'm saying? But anyway. You can find it. Listen. And that's why people don't like, look, y'all talking about Monique. That's why people don't like Monique no more. Because it went positive and we needed her to start cursing people out again. Because there was a level of realness to that. And now it seems as if we're in an area of the cognitive dissonance, but what everybody doesn't realize is that even when I'm using Monique as an example, because even when Monique was talking that shit and we liked her and she didn't give a fuck and she was, skinny bitches kiss my ass and all of that back then, there was a level of honesty to it, but there was also a level of self-degradation. And in that is also a cognitive dissonance. Okay. You still male identified. You still, you know what I'm saying? Like some of the attitudes of ignoring one thing so that you can relish in another, ignoring how toxic niggas are, or, ignoring that something is wrong with calling your man daddy. Like y'all don't want to deal with that. But those of us that don't really have daddy issues, we ain't really comfortable with calling niggas that's not our daddy because we had a daddy. That shit not really that sexy to us. That's why we know that something is wrong with you when you do it all the time. Something about the relationship is unbalanced. You see what I'm saying? So I feel like as much as everybody liked the first version of Monique, it's a little unfair for people to always compare how she used to be to how she is now, because there is a part of her that has grown in love and appreciation for herself, but there's also a part of her that has sunken deeper into levels of delusion. But that's the thing about people that manifest. That's why it's such a fine line. And that's why my ass stays in therapy. Because what I have realized is once you understand how powerful your thoughts and your words are, once you really understand that, and everything you speak is towards your benefit, and you learn to stop vocalizing bad things, child, I'll get that one day. Shit, maybe today. Maybe I'll stop saying I'm broke today. And it'll eventually change. Okay. But I really do believe that when it comes to people like Diddy and Nick Cannon and Monique and a lot of people that have gotten to a certain level in this world and entertainment and just in their own careers, and celebrities getting to a level of manifesting something for themselves out of nothing, it's a fine line between understanding your power and overestimating it. And that fine line is why I'm in therapy. To not fall into delusion. Because people that manifest believe in their own power so much that they sometimes believe the things they tell themselves and other people that they know are lies. But because they are convinced that they can make shit happen just from speaking it, they also can believe that the lies they tell can just be believed as fact. It's a fine line. It's a very fine line. Thank you, Angela, for the super chat. This reminds me of when the women from Mary snapped. She said, do what you want me. She said, do you want me to quote scripture? I'm hurt right now. Thank you for that. And yes, that reminds me of that as well. Balance is needed. Yes. Yes. That's why affirmations work. They retrain the subconscious mind, but you have to do the work also. Universal laws. Come on now, talk about it.